The following podcast may contain strong language. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello, and welcome to Hallmark of Greatness Last Orders, the podcast where we look back into the films that Hallmark favours actors and directors would rather forget that they were ever involved with. I'm Joe, and with me as always are my co-hosts. She has spent the past fortnight hiding in her ensuite bathroom, trying to avoid the triangle-faced child that has been singing spooky nursery rhymes at her. It's Bernadette. Hello.
Throwing Toblerone at her.
And he has just arrived after being freed from prison by flying Golden Fabio after being sentenced for rubbing a woman's arm right down to the bone. It's James.
Yeah, please! Whatever it is he says in the car.
I can't remember. If you would
No.
No.
we can't just pretend that, like everything goes back to the way it was after this film. All films before this are dust, in my opinion.
I was getting to that. Let me do my bit first.
This is not a normal day.
This is not. This is. I'm going to warn you now. This is going to be anarchy. Because this is simultaneously the best and worst film I've ever seen in my entire life, and I've seen over 12 films. If you'd like to follow us on Twitter at Hallmark of Great and Instagram and Facebook at Hallmark of Greatness, or you can email us at hallmarkofgreatness@gmail.com. How are we doing?
Barely keeping it together. I'm buzzed for this.
I have so many sound buttons queued up. It's unbelievable. Yeah, do you want to just get into it?
I've got a synopsis. In fact, was there actually a trailer for this?
No, the only trailers I could find for it were fan-made ones.
I'm surprised they didn't just have a pop at it, because...
Based on the editing at the start, where it names the production company 4 times, I'm going to guess, no, it's not. So, also, this one sort of breaks the rules a little bit, as in it has no link whatsoever to Hallmark at all.
Yes, it's a special one.
It's a special one. We just found it and we thought we have to do this because it's a beautiful, beautiful film. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you.
I picked it based on the poster.
The poster alone sold me because, yeah. I present to you Fatal Deviation. 1998 Fatal Deviation. James, do you have a synopsis?
Although now I feel like I came up with a synopsis, and I just feel like it's not nothing's ever as good as the actual thing. But here we go. Fatal Deviation, 1998. A less than daring, aspiring tobacconist, Clarissa Fatal, takes up toboggans in order to impress a local recluse, Jonathan Antelope, an extreme sports photographer. After deviating from the course following an untimely avalanche, they spend the night fighting for survival, making a makeshift yurt out of twigs, making fire out of fire stuff, and felling wild elk. As usual, love ensues.
Nice.
That has more to do with fatal deviations of any kind.
The only time it's ever mentioned is when the monk goes, fatal deviation, fatal deviation, fatal deviation. It never explains what it is.
It's a popular song that year.
If you've seen the post of this, which you had, your mind was already ruined. Barney? But anything off the poster? Because there's a lot going on.
Revenge. Yeah. Well, it's literally a sentence I wrote. Paddy seeks revenge using a variety of guns. Classic hard man action film. And it actually has the synopsis on the poster.
It does. The synopsis for this is a classic good versus evil action flick mixed with kicks, guns, motorcycles, and a hot babe, which I feel should be in quotation marks. Because, bless her, yeah, she's trying.
And a hot babe.
A hot babe. That's me sold on anything.
Especially the film Babe.
I can't do this.
Well, I knew this was going to be a cracking film because, like you said, the Rising Sun Productions comes up 4 times or something like that.
Yep.
It does.
It's like my ICT lessons when I was back at school. And it was all that word art graphics on PowerPoint, and I
Yes.
thought, this is it. This is very 90s. This is very me.
Yeah, you see, I've also got a lot in there about that, and I'm gonna have to. There's loads of stuff in here that I started out just analysing in detail, and it rapidly comes to it that you just can't do that. You can't pick on everything.
You can't
We'd be
keep
here
up.
for hours.
Well, it's not
Days.
that. You can't keep. You'd have to watch it at like a third speed to keep up with just the amount of raw data flying in your face constantly. Because, my lord, there's a lot in this.
I stepped into this putting Rising Sun Productions clip art. Very subtle, isn't it? That no longer matters. That doesn't matter. That's normal now.
Also starring member of rock band Boy Zone, Mikey Graham. Just for anyone who isn't aware, Boyzone is all one word, and we're an Irish boy band, in no way rock in any way, shape, or form. Mikey Graham, this was his only acting experience until he came back about 10, 15 years later in another similarly low budget film that was equally panned, which I must sort of find now, I think.
Oh, I thought he might have gone off, actually had some acting lessons and come back.
You made me look bad. It's
There's also in this, and this did titillate me a little bit, risingsunproductions.net appears. It's all typed out as well. I think that's another PowerPoint thing. So I decided to Google that. Did anybody else?
No? What does it? Please tell me it leads to something.
It leads to something.
Please tell me it's not Grumble.
Rising Sun Productions doesn't appear to exist anymore. It just sort of faded into the ether as soon as this film materialized.
More like Setting Sun.
It now links to warrenerentertainment.com, which I'm looking at right
is that
now.
Is that like Warner but misspelled?
I think it was and I'm going to put the term loosely, the executive producer of this film has now a website. There's something called, it just sells DVDs of martial arts thing. The Mystery of Chess Boxing. Joe Lewis, Fighting Systems.
What is chess boxing? It's like you've got to move the pieces while avoiding getting lamped. That's
that from the cover of it, yes.
Tidy, I'm on board. Order a copy from Warner Productions or whatever it was.
So
we open on the best thing ever to be fair to Jimmy, he's very good at karate, but he's got a face only a radio could love. He looks very Irish.
How old do you think he is?
In this, I want to say at times 23, at other times 57.
But he's coming out of St. Claude's Reform School.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's supposed to be a young lad, isn't he?
Doing his monologue.
They didn't even try and
have a stab. Go on.
I'm guessing he's supposed to be 18. He's been kicked out of the reform school because he's of age now. So he's supposed to be 18.
He's actually in this 19.
The actual actor is 19.
Yeah.
No, he's not.
In 1920.
I need a live horn. Sorry, no.
Yeah, so
wow.
He did do casting, so he cast himself into this. Actually, in the credits as well, it's pretty much like directed by J. Bennett, starring James Bennett.
I was like, no one will ever know. It was me, Austin.
Actually, Final Deviation itself appears seesawing, but there's no sound, which is very peculiar as well. And this is...
I think that was a screensaver. You know, like it used to be.
It does look like that. But it's another little thing where it sounds picky. It sounds picky, but the sound in this is weird throughout.
Yeah.
There's some incredibly good Foley in this, and some incredibly obscurely bad song choices. I'm looking at you, big fight tournament scene and workout scene.
Some lovely tea-stained wallpaper that he's in, this horrible place just surrounded by pictures of...
It's clearly his nan's house. I think at a reform school you're allowed to put as many framed pictures of your loved ones on the wall as you want. It's clearly his nan's house.
They're not blue tacked up though, are they, or anything?
Oh no,
it's
not
proper frame.
So he's got access to a hammer and nails and like them little brass things. Yeah,
And he says over the top of this, I need to discover who I am, what I should do, and what happened to my father.
Sorry, is he Welsh?
I'm not even going to attempt to do an Irish accent because I will just offend
I had to
the
be the
whole
best
country.
fighter, like my father was, he says. Yes.
But I was confused by this because I was like, what is it, an escape room? He's just got all these things lodged in his mind.
No, he's got now in this bag, he throws a picture on top of it, leaves all his other pictures behind.
Just
Don't
that
want
one
them
picture.
anymore. Yeah. And just leaves. And then we get like a 5-minute montage of him just walking around Irish country lanes with a
my
duffel
God.
bag while a song plays over the top. I can't play the songs for fear of copyright.
We get many close-up of his boots. I actually went for a brew, came back, and he was still walking.
Yeah,
It's actually 1 minute 16 of him walking. I counted.
wow, that's a lot. It feels like a lot longer. While
Walking through country lanes. Yeah.
well,
he
some
goes out
poor
of-
man's sort of lighthouse family is playing in the background.
I put it as catchphrase style music.
Yeah, it's very.
Throughout. It comes back. It's sort of like a leitmotif of this time walking around.
I think there's 3 actual full songs in here with lyrics and stuff, and the rest of it is just someone having a seizure on a keyboard.
I wrote down the lyrics.
There's one further on, and that's just horrendous.
The fair scared me.
This man is walking around for ages to this music, which is really sort of like really classically sad, and he just looks like an angry man.
I had a feeling it was like the walking away music in the Hulk.
When you feel like giving in, the world around you changes every day. When you search for your way out, you look down from a distance on a sad ostrich. Not sure about that line.
Oh, and that's no
You
one.
cross the sea of spectacle, and then you realise this is happening to you.
Yeah. There's that one, and the other one is there's a very live, love, laugh song later on.
Yep,
Isn't
I've
there?
written
as
that down
Yeah,
as well. We'll get to that.
Okay. He comes across an old house, which I'm assuming is his house. Never
Yeah.
explained. Very long close with a lock.
Then he gets a big rock, hits
Picks
that,
up a massive boulder that's just next to this house.
hits
See,
the
I
lock
thought
once,
that-
and it bing,
yeah.
it's open.
Well, that's what it's there for. It's the magical rock. You know, like you put the key under the mat.
He under the rock.
Because he hits it and it's already open.
Yeah. But then he kicks the fuck out of the door when he opens it as well. I think
He
he just
does
opens.
that throughout.
He opens every door he goes in by just booting it to surprise people.
His first task upon entering this house is to reorient the coffee table, which I thought was a nice touch. And then there's a Buddha in the corner that reminds him of a ritual that his dad did. And then there's a flashback to his dad, who is played
Doing
by
lots of like weird praying in front of the fire.
Yeah,
his dad is played by a non-union, your brother,
he does look a lot like Ardar.
which amused me. He writes a set of chest of drawers and then goes off to Londis for some.
Does he not find the pajamas first? Is
No,
this
I
not
think
where he
that's
finds the
slightly
box
later.
with the pajamas in it?
No.
Okay. I mean, it's a blur of fun. This film.
This is why I'm in charge of the narrative. for this
Okay, that's fine.
episode.
Yeah. No, I
You've
know
lost
you wrote
control.
I know you wrote extensive notes. I'll trust you in future.
I
to
ran
keep
out
on
of
the
a
straight.
book. I was usually I write about 12 to 13 pages. I wrote 17 and a
Christ.
half with this one.
I do 3 at most. So they go to
He then goes
Londis.
to Londis.
I knew this was going to be a great film just from this.
Londis. I always thought Londis over here was just like a wine shop. In Ireland, it's like a supermarket.
Oh, it's like their spa, isn't it? Their spa's a lot nicer than our spa.
But it's got trolleys and fresh fruit and veg. And we see
Two lads.
the hot babe put in crisp and dry cooking oil on a shelf.
Yeah.
While 2 oiks come in, steal a trolley off an old man, and then just go on a very low budget crime spree.
Yep, they cast potatoes into the trolley from afar. They try to juggle eggs. One of them eats a scone. Some of them drinks what appears to be tonic water.
Oh, I put
and then they go and
mouthwash.
bother Blondie, they call her, but her name is later revealed to be Nicola. But there's some uncertainty about that because she may
Again,
be called other things.
The name, it changes a lot. in it.
She's
I'm
a
just gonna-
vessel for your hopes and dreams.
I'm
She
just
can
going to
be called
refer to
whatever
her
you want.
as Hot Babe from now on, if that's okay. HB, keep it light. They hassle her as she's stacking either toilet roll or kitchen roll. I'm not sure which one it is.
It's bog roll because I've actually wrote it.
Okay, toilet roll. They're hassling her about seeing Mikey.
Mikey from Boyzone, yeah.
Yeah. Mikey wants to see you tonight or something.
Yeah, Mikey is his name and also his name in this.
Yeah, his
because that's
character
how
name.
it works with virtually everyone.
Yeah, when the credits came up, I went, oh, she is called Nicola because they've not actually changed their names. They are playing themselves.
They'd have got confused if they'd given them actual character names as well. They'd be going, Susan, and she'd be off. Well, it's not me she's talking to.
Anyway, at the point where they're hassling her, Jimmy Bennett intervenes, finally
Did
stopping
we see what Jimmy Bennett bought?
He was considering some cat food for no reason at all.
To lure cats into his house to fight?
So there he goes, beats them up, chucks them into some kitchen rolls or bog rolls.
He kicks one of them through the toilet roll, and the other one, he just wafts his foot near him, and he leaves.
Well, I don't want to get kicked in more bog roll or the crisp and dry. You never know. Spent ages rearranging that.
There's not much closure from that because then we cut to a caravan park
where all crime lords live in Ireland.
Where the main villain of the piece lives. His name is Lochan, and he's part of... Did anybody know what the gang is called?
They were called the Drugs Gang, weren't they?
The Drug Lords Gang.
Oh, mate.
Yeah, he sneaks up on one of his goons, and then did you want to do the impression of what he says to the goon?
I can't remember what he says.
Who
did this to you? Something like that,
It's
isn't it?
usually what he says. He says, I'm not paying you... I'm not going to do the accent.
I'm not paying you to sit around with your finger up your arse or something.
It's
And then
more-
he gives him a gun and goes, to the range with you, or something like that.
Which looks like, did anybody get this? A pile of scree.
Yeah, it's a lot of screen in this.
It's like my big salad is scree. Always what I want to see.
I was just, if he's a powerful drug lord, why is he hanging about in a manky caravan?
He has many locations. That
He has
likes
two
to
locations.
dwell.
He has a caravan and someone's front room.
He then gets a phone call from Hong Kong about
From Hong Kong!
about consignment.
Jimmy, what's the most exotic place you can think of? Why, Hong Kong, of course.
Well, yeah.
Is this the bloke called Seagull?
Seagull!
It is Seagull, but he's not introduced at this time.
Oh,
also,
yeah.
Seagull is spelled wrong.
Stop it, I'm trying to drink.
Do you reckon it's like they went, who's a hard fighter? Steven Seagal. No, we can't use that.
Oh, no, I think that is it.
And they've gone,
Now
I've
you
never
said
put
it.
that together.
Seagal, Seagull. No
'Cause it's
one will
spelled
know.
wrong.
It's spelled wrong. Of course it is.
Oh,
So
right. And then
Seagull is in Hong Kong taking care of some business, but he'll be back in time for the tournament.
Yeah, you don't get that much detail at this point. You just know that something's
no,
going
because
on.
we're just scene hopping, then we hop to another
But
scene.
For now, all you need to know is that Jimmy's digging to some more catchphrase music.
He does. This is where he does the slow motion blowing of the box.
He moves hay from one side of the shed to another for no reason at all.
He just throws it over there, yeah.
It was tidier where it was, and now it's a heap. And so,
Also,
there's
that
a-
would be all manky, surely.
This is when he finds the martial arts jacket. There's a slow motion blow of dust from the chest, which is entirely unnecessary.
It's
Which
look,
reminds him of being thrown around as a child and his dad being there.
No,
yeah.
what it was the kids didn't want him to play football, so he goes home crying to his dad saying that he's being bullied. No, just because they don't want to play football does not mean you're being bullied. It just means you're shite at football.
I could speak from facts like that.
But then later on, he's like, I know what it's like to be bullied. No, mate, you just weren't picked for team.
Again, pick last for everything. Never been able to climb a rope. I've never
I mean,
seen it as a life skill. I'll
you're-
take a ladder.
You're taking a very bold choice going against Jimmy that way. That's all I can say.
Jimmy's dad will kick bits of wood at you.
You won't be sat around gambling when he comes around. Then it cuts to some,
That's a line!
it's a line. Then it cuts to some women at an ATM warning about Jimmy and his dad.
I don't think they had permission to film a lot of this. Because there's a lot of it is very
yeah.
sort of low camera angles. Like someone's just holding a camera, like, go on, Susan, go for it.
Oh no, yeah, woman at ATM number 1 went on to do things.
Did she now?
She did. And Nicola's there, and she, Blondie or Babe or whatever you want to call. She doesn't like them talking about him in that way because he saved her previously.
Wait, does she know who he is?
Everyone knows who he is.
Oh,
so
okay.
he's come
well,
back.
He's got a face you can't forget, hasn't he? Really?
It's Bennett, yeah.
Jimmy Bennett, the potato faced 50-year-old.
And then she's walking along, and 2 goons stake her out from a car.
Right.
To then pull up. Okay.
The car that isn't the same car that pulls up. I'm sure it's a different car that pulls up.
There are a few continuity errors.
They go through a lot of cars in this.
Yeah, they get out and they're like, Mikey wants to see you tonight.
They pull out some flowers. It looks like it's
yeah.
going to be really threatening. Did they really need to stake her out for that? To like flower punch the? Yeah.
They didn't even like bunch of flowers out the sleeve, like make a trick out of it. That'd have been better. Like a magician.
They're not highly skilled people.
Certainly not acting.
Hassling her about Mikey again. She doesn't like it. Jimmy appears.
She says she's busy tonight.
And what does he say? I don't think she needs help crossing the road. Why don't you 2 Boy Scouts play in the woods?
Go and play in the woods. Yeah.
And then
some karate ensues.
Yep, and he chucks one of them over the bridge.
He literally throws one of them to his death. And then does a cool leg flip roll over the bonnet of the car that's completely unnecessary. And if anything, would make him easier to hit, I think.
It's all unnecessary. All they were doing were giving her some flowers.
They were hassling the town's hot babe. Every village in Ireland has one hot babe, and you've got to get in there early.
And then the wise wizard monk man.
He's just watching from the side.
There's a Franciscan monk in his brown cloak.
He's like,
watching sagely.
In his brown cloak that they've clearly hired from a fancy dress shop.
And I had to say at that point, I did not see that coming.
No, the fact he's just there like.
She says thanks, and then he says, I know what it's like to be bullied, and then takes his eggs and pint of milk and cat food and walks off on his way.
But when he gets home and he checks his eggs, did your heart not break a little bit? They were knackered
broken.
eggs.
Eggs are broken.
And he's really cross. Did you see that? He's like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Doing karate near eggs.
I'll go back to Londis and get some more.
She's not working now. Plus, also, he's bad for kicking off in there.
There's then a man on a chaise lounge who meets the blooded goons who come and tell him that Jimmy's back after 10 years. And everyone does a lot of troubled soul searching at this.
Yes,
but that's Mikey, isn't it?
That's Mikey on the chaise longue, yeah. Chaise longue.
Never see that again.
No, again, I think they had locations for a day. And then they couldn't get back into them.
I think he is sat there in future scenes because he's sat in the corner, but they just cut off the rest of the chaise lounge, which defeats the object of having
His
one.
grandma sat there knitting or something.
It's the most glamorous piece of furniture, a chaise longue, isn't it? Yes, boss.
The old man, who's later revealed to be Lochan, wants Jimmy to work for him because he says that it would be ironic as he killed his dad.
That's not irony.
That's just
cruel and unusual.
Wouldn't it serve the plot really well if I hired him?
Would it? Because eventually he's going to find out, because all of your goons are kind of rubbish, aren't they, really?
I mean, yeah, it's good for plot reasons. It's tremendously bad from a business point.
You say plot reasons. I say there is no plot in this film.
Well,
it's a series of events that happen every day in Ireland.
It's a BTEC drama lesson. That's what this is.
Oh.
And then it cuts to Nicola on a bike.
I brought you this pie.
I thought it was a giant cookie.
While Jimmy limbers up.
It's really large vest. I couldn't cope.
Yeah, it focuses on her legs as well, rather unnecessarily for some reason.
Is he doing the splits between 2 things in his front room?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's doing stretching, squatting, and splits up the wall.
Yeah, that's.
And she hands him a chiseled
pie
bit of pastry that she's baked herself.
Baked
what
it
did
herself.
people think that was?
I thought it was a pie.
I thought it was a giant cookie.
Like
a really shallow pie.
Like a Bakewell tart sort of
Really
pie, yeah.
shallow.
It was
It
really
dish.
thin.
Oh,
It was
God.
probably
launched
like
later.
a pie case you can buy to fill in later at home from Londis.
I thought, it was just like a biscuit or something like that. Everything he eats has to be to do with sport. She then immediately has to go, and he says, "Can I see you again?" And she says, "I don't know. Can you?"
And then he holds the pie up.
Does he?
So I'm like, victory pie!
Holds it aloft in the screenplay. Holds aloft. And then in the time it took for her to go, 2 goons have snuck in and turned to see Lochan. And there's a lot of people appearing behind people in this.
For this scene, I wrote, "Do you want to work for me?" I don't know. And then a close up of some guy's eyes for absolutely no reason whatsoever.
It's supposed to be like, I'm assuming the guy was like, it'll be like Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, like at the end, it'll be a lot of close up staring and stuff, but it doesn't work because everyone like they're not looking focused at the other person, they're just looking like a magic eye picture.
Lochan asks him about manual work first of all, and he says, "It's okay." It's not like a YouGov poll or something, is it? What do you think
1,
about it? I
not
don't
like
know.
this very much. 2, not like it. 3, ambivalent. 5, love it. It's, yeah. The dialogue here was like, it was just so bizarre. Because do you like to think about manual work? I hear you're good with your hands. Yes, I am. Man, it's like improv. Yes, and everything. Like lead people into stuff. No. I'll let you know.
Why are you asking, sort of thing. Move it along. And there's another establishing shot, which is accompanied by a gong. And I love that. There's so many establishing gongs. Why can't we have an establishing gong?
I very nearly cut that out so we could do it between bits in future. But I forgot. I got too giddy with all the other sounds.
Mikey hates him. Starts hassling him in the corridor.
Mikey hates him because he's been hanging about with HB. And HB is his girl, even though she isn't really.
She doesn't seem to like him very much.
Because even before the toilet roll incident, she was sort of like trying to think of excuses not to see him. So
he's from Boyzone.
Rock band, Boyzone.
Boyzone.
Yeah.
Lochan tells Mikey though after Jimmy's gone that accidents happen all the time. But then why does he want him to work for him then?
So they can kill him.
The irony.
There's no irony. Also, like, who is Lochan? How did he get this job? Is he some famous Irishman? Because he's terrible.
He's the best character in this.
How would you describe him?
Like, one of the goblins from Harry Potter that runs the bank. Like that, if it couldn't act, was Irish and had an interest in dry flower arranging.
There's an excruciating series of scenes in the blooper reel at the end where he just doesn't know any of the lines.
Right,
anyway,
next scene.
Yeah.
Where are we heading to?
For a date with Nicola. Where does he take her? The 90s fun fair, of course.
The 90s fun fair. Listen. So sinister.
Well, it starts getting really sinister because the picture gets really like slow motion bumper cars.
The fun fair opens at 7:30 p.m, which I thought was really late for a fun
fair. They don't open all day.
Nope, that's the sign in the establishing shot, and then above the fun fair, in a crudely made hand-painted sign, it says, "Enjoy the fun of the fair." As though you're supposed to look at that and go, "Oh, that's why it's called the fun fair." But I love the fun fair. It reminded me of all like the dodgy ones that I'd been to as a kid in the 90s.
Again, I think this scene is there purely because it was free to film at the fair.
There just happened to be one.
Happened to be one in town, and they were like, "We can go and get some shots of a date there." One of the 3 dates that they go on. The only one that doesn't involve a blanket and murder.
Does somebody want to cover what happens at the Dodgems? Because this is a crazy extended scene.
No, because nothing happens. It's them two dicking around in slow motion, and then all of a sudden it goes like really trippy, like everyone's just taking an E.
They're on a swing boat together, which I didn't know was still a thing. like a swing where you go backwards and forward, like a Victorian folly. They have to go on some bumper cars, don't they?
But they're on the bumper cars for ages.
Until it causes a flashback. It's so potent.
They've only got £3 to have a go on everything.
Until he gets concussion and we go back to the Buddha worshipping.
We didn't take enough petty cash to have a go on everything. Tried to get a wristband for £5, but
Is this the one?
This is it. This is the best point of the entire.
So we get a bit more of the flashback, don't we? of his dad with the Buddha.
Yeah, he's having a bit of a pray.
And we see him get whacked.
I don't know what that noise is supposed to be.
He gets whacked by Sooty and Sweep.
Is that supposed to be little Jimmy crying out in shock? Or it's not like a noise of anything that any human can make.
It's like when you stand up dog by mistake.
I had to stop that. I had to stop the film and have a moment to myself somewhere.
I had to rewind it and listen to it again.
I'd never find out what that noise is.
We don't need to know. It's perfection.
Oh,
One last time.
It'll never not be funny.
You know what? They could put that on the radio as one of those phone in and guess what the noises is, and they could run that for years. And you go, oh, okay, the sound actually was an Irishman watching his father being beheaded by an old man. Oh. I thought
Jimmy
it was when you
then,
stand on a cat.
after all the excitement of the day, Jimmy then goes for an early morning training montage.
We do
And
like
a Franciscan
montage.
monk turns up to nail a piece of paper to a tree.
Now, this is for the Bellatane tournament, but the piece of paper he nails up is clearly Microsoft painted to look like a scroll, but they haven't cut the scroll out. They've just put it on a piece of normal A4. He's also hammering it in with a rock.
Yeah,
So rocks must be the only form of tool that they have in Ireland. And any problem, hit it with a rock.
But they would have saved money if they'd have done the wet tea bag, burn the edges.
It would have looked better than this. But they found an old-fashioned. They've done it in like Gothic New Roman or whatever the font is.
Yeah, so this festival, I've got it here as Beltane. How did you pronounce it?
It's Beltane. Beltane.
It's not commonly associated with fighting, as far as
not karate tournaments. No,
I'm not ruling it out. Not ruling it out. It's like the 1st of May festival, isn't it? And
it's the start of summer festival. Yeah, it's one of the big 4 sort of Celtic festivals, along with Samhain and stuff like that.
And then the gang hold a meeting on the back of this. With actual minutes. And the worst point is that Lachlan has to do all the admin himself.
None of the goons can keep minutes. Yeah, it was.
Oh, Siegel sends his apologies again.
It's round the tiniest table I've ever seen.
But he wants Siegel to win the tournament, the Beltane tournament.
Why?
Because if they win the tournament, Mikey says they'll take control of the town. And that's how all power in this place is transferred.
By a punching.
So Lachlan says, there's not allowed to be any other contenders. And I thought, well, that's some tournament, isn't it?
Just one guy coming out, you've already won. Yeah. There's loads of people in this tournament. That fight sequence goes on for ages. There's a woman in there, for Christ's sakes.
I've tried to write down names for that, and then some of them just didn't have names.
You got bored halfway through. I think that's what it was. It went on forever. Like in Bloodfist, there was 3 rounds of fighting. It must have been an entire weekend. Yeah.
The template is very, very
It was very Bloodfist if Bloodfist was filmed in a church hall.
Mikey from Boyzone calls Nicola on the back of that meeting.
Oh, Nicola's phone is the grubbiest phone I've ever seen in my life. It's disgusting.
Well, there is a tub of liquid next to her as well.
Maybe she was just about to sanitize the phone after a chimney sweep had been in and used it. I don't know.
He doesn't quite pick up on the fact that she's not bothered.
I mean, it's hard to tell with Nicola because she just feigns indifference to everything, to be honest.
You would much rather go for a walk with Jimmy in a nice murder forest.
Well, I'm going to have a lie down on a blanket first and eat strawberries in the most sexy way possible.
Does anybody want to recount what happens in the murder forest?
Oh, I've put... They stumble across Brockle House from Father's Head, but expanded.
Yeah, there's 3 guys in monk costumes. Do we see them all in the same shot, or is it like different shots and one guy's just running?
Different shots. So Withered Monk is at the front talking to him, and then Monk in the background has got a hoe, but he's back to him. So it could be the same Monk.
Could be the same guy, just from different angles.
Are they allowed to have a hoe and a hot babe in the same time? What time does this podcast go out?
It's fine.
7:30.
Oh, enjoy the fun!
Jimmy then, they sneak around the back of him, and it's not really clear what all that was for. He just gets freaked out by the monks, because that's not followed up. He just then wants to go to a very exclusive dive pub. Not taking Nicola with him.
Nicola's got to go to work, mate. Londis calls. That crisp and dry won't stock itself. The weird thing about the crisp and dry as well is that it wasn't even on a pallet. It was just on the floor. So instead of moving it and putting it on the shelf like that, she's brought it, put it on the floor, sat down, and then put it on the shelf. It's wasted motion, Nicola.
With this, I never know that, we're going to be talking about crisp and dry for 50 minutes or something. That's the beauty of this podcast.
The pub.
Keel's pub?
I
can't pronounce Irish.
It was in very sort of cursive text.
It was in like
copper plate or
shades,
something.
Sort of Irish. Yeah. There's 2 goons on the door.
And they won't let little bollocks in.
Because...
Oh, you little bollocks. I said no entry.
Get away from me, you little bollocks. Which, I don't know, is a great insult. I mean, the Irish have got some of the best insults out there.
They've got some of the best T-shirts as well.
I half expected one of them of like a packet of fags rolled up in his sleeve, like... just to be a real badass. It's not the 1950s.
The I Shot JR T-shirt from Father.
Oh, I swear to God, the guy who was in the Londis, I think the guy that eats the scone, one that looks like an Irish Hey Arnold, he should have had an I Shot JR shirt on. Because he's very Tom from Father Ted, isn't he? Jimmy goes in. Jimmy kicks them. Jimmy just runs in, like side kicks them both, and walks in as if, oh well, pass that test to get into the pub.
And there's a bar fight over spilt beer, and there's a man who I think is actually credited as being called Barbie. He goes up to her and says, "Hello, Barbie. How about you apologise?" Because he starts a fight over the spilt beer, and he's got a T-shirt that says "Not crying, not ever." Sure. So I didn't understand.
That's not good English, is it?
He then proceeds to fight everyone.
He fights everyone in the pub. The dog that's in there. He has a fight with a pool table at one point.
Oh, I love that bit where he bops him with the pool balls.
I was like, that would murder someone, hitting them with a pool ball. Well, that's what he does in Scum, innit? In a sock.
It makes him very thirsty, and then he has to go and get a pint from the bar.
The barman, who pulls a shotgun out at him.
Must be lots of trouble in that pub.
Just a shotgun just behind that's why they got doormen on. But apparently the doormen let everyone in, apart from people with...
Sorry, you little bollocks.
That's it.
No
entry. Jimmy, slaps the gun round and points it... jabs him in the face with it and says...
Fuck you and you're going, you prick.
Right. I have to leave that running so long. That is the music that's going on all through the fight. That sort of weird jazz sort of thing. It's not fight music, it's Jamiroquai.
That's why he's kicking everyone's ass. He wants the jukebox.
It wasn't a dive bar, it was a jazz bar.
It was a jazz bar.
Nice.
It's just a load of do. 4 guys in the car.
Fuck you and you're going, you prick.
It's just great. Isn't it?
Do you remember in the olden days where we could set our own ringtones? I want that as a text message.
So you don't want...
Sorry, you little bollocks. I said
No, I want the scream.
I think I can do this.
My phone would actually be on loud for once. Text me.
Can't get
Phoning
over
yourself
that.
on the landline. He doesn't get... So he comes out of the pub. He's not had a drink. All he's done is go in and fight everyone. Which is basically his approach to everything, isn't it? He's just punching. Him and your man from Bloodfist would get on.
To prove he's got bigger bollocks.
After this, Lachlan is making a nice festoon.
Oh, yes.
This
With the
is
dead flowers.
bizarrest bit. We cut to like a very dusty looking arrangement of dried flowers that like people have in like fireplaces and stuff, and he's just putting one bit in very slowly, as if this drug. He's the worst drug lord. He lives in a caravan. He has to do his own minutes, and he's not even got like a cool drug habit or anything. His vice is arranging dried flowers.
No, we do see drugs later. Like
that's Mickey. Mickey gets his comeuppance. It's fine. Is it Barbie that comes in?
Yep.
With some ketchup under his eye, and Lachlan says, "Hold on, because that's pretty much all he says all the way through it." And he explains that it was Jimmy.
Yep, Jimmy done it.
Jimmy done it. That should be his surname.
Jimmy himself got slightly wounded during this fight. Nicola's attending to his wounds, and then a monk wordlessly delivers a scroll inviting him for the tournament, even though it'd been like nailed to a tree in the center.
No, it's personalised to him.
Yeah.
Come now. It was very.
He knocks on the door, gives it him, and then Nicola goes, "Who was that?" And then she looks, and no one was there. It's like he's probably left because you ignored him.
Put that pie under his arm. He's gone.
He's eaten that. He filled that full of cat food and eggs. It's addressed to him, and Nicola says it is a great honour to be invited to the tournament. Is it?
Well, Nicola doesn't realise that a monk delivered it.
No, that's what I'm saying. She heard that someone knocked at the door. He goes to answer it. I don't know what she's doing. Probably sanitising the phone. And then, as she goes, "Where did that come from?" She looks at the open door and there's no one there. And it's, because he's not going to stand there, is he?
Monk's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know why Jimmy just doesn't say from that monk who was just at the door.
There, the one we saw the other day mucking about. It could have been three of them, could have been one of them. We don't know.
Monks really run this town, don't they?
Yeah, but quietly on the down low.
It's weird because they transfer political power through violence, which monks aren't about. But they don't run it. They just host it.
But the monk knows karate.
Monks know things.
Although we never see him do any. All he does is threaten Jimmy with some branches. It's a great honour to enter the tournament, and he's like, "Okay, then I will, I guess."
You've twisted me arm.
Yeah, he's like, "Well, I've had a monk do it, and I saw one nailed to a tree."
It's the same motivation as Bloodfist, really, in going into that tournament. It was just going that way.
It's just like we have to progress the plot of this film somehow.
Forgotten about his dad or something. Actually, his dad takes sort of like the back burner. He just gets periodic flashbacks about it that compulsive. He's then sort of like impelled to go and do something about compelled.
Yes. And then is this the next day where he puts his punching bag up? That's why he moved all the hay so he could put his punching bag up.
First, we've got Mickey chopping up his crack with his credit card.
Yeah. There's a nice statue of a whale there as well.
Yes, there is. Get all the fancy things from the house, Margaret. Put them in this shot. What about me porcelain whale? Get that in there. Go on.
What was that scene all about? I don't really...
It was so random.
It was. Is this not where he tells him to get the No, it's not where he tells him to get the motorbikes, is it?
Was it not just to show how important Mikey was?
And show Mikey doing drugs, because Mikey's cool then.
Yeah.
And he's a badass, and he's like on the same, because he's never. He's
his
son.
More a badass than
he's Lachlan's son, but it's never explained, is it? Only
not until the end.
Only at the very end is it explained. So I just assumed he was second in command, and like he was gunning for the old man's job, sort of thing. But the guy who was the goon is the best. Yes, boss. No, boss. Okay, boss.
He had a simple line and he delivered it.
Oh, he went on to be in many other things. Went on to play Othello. Yeah.
But that new version of Othello where it's yes, boss, no, boss.
It's cryptic.
And then Jimmy does some stick business after struggling with his t-shirt for a bit. Some more catchphrase music, and a monk appears.
Is this where he's hitting the punch bag with his stick? Is he having an asthma attack?
Meet me tomorrow by the Seven Oaks.
No, I promise you, I have not doubled that over or anything. That is like a full 30-second clip of him kicking a thing and having an asthma attack.
And the monk.
Yeah.
Yes, and then the monk just appears and says, meet me tomorrow at the Seven Oaks or whatever, which I think is a carpet warehouse, isn't it?
He knows something about his dad as well. He's not saying...
There's a lot of that in this.
Well, Jimmy says, no, I'm not meeting you. And then the monk goes, that's what your dad said.
What did you know?
That's what she said.
What did you know about my father? I'll tell you later. There's a lot of I'll tell you later.
No, there's a lot of after training.
Yeah. Strings him along with training.
After training.
There's a flashback then to when his dad taught him to attack a punch bag like a cat.
It's the pouch. It's a pterodactyl. That's what it is.
And he teaches him to stand on logs.
He also says, if you learn to do this, I will be proud of you. I'm very proud of you.
I didn't get that.
I was like, can you be more proud of someone? Isn't like that a definitive thing?
Yeah, I'm proud of you, but then I'll be very proud of you.
I can be more prouder. 50% more prouder, please.
But it turns out that this flashback is brought to you by carbon monoxide fumes because he's passed out next to a fire. And he wakes up and the monk lobs. I thought it was a kettle at his head.
I thought he was throwing scalding hot water on his face. And I was like...
It wouldn't be out of character for
I know he looks like a
he's
potato. But...
And then there's some bagpipes. Did you?
This is the training. This is the training montage. He comes out walking, carrying these bagpipes, and I'm sorry, this is not bagpipes. There's a bit where it goes all sexy saxophone. that you can't do that tonal shift on a bagpipe. That's like a skip note. That's a saxophone or a chanter or something. It's no way a bagpipe. I'm guessing it's whatever it says bagpipe on a Yamaha keyboard. I was angry. Also, that music went on for fucking ever.
Is that while he's like Tai Chiing in the woods?
Yeah, it's before he starts doing the proper karate. This is just him learning balance and
all sorts of things are going on in this forest because Nicola's also doing a horse ride, nearly breaking a fucking neck in the process.
Yes,
that's one of their dates.
They take up skipping stones, which was a nice Father Ted moment.
Again,
she doesn't skip a stone though. What does she do?
She clods Jimmy's key into the river.
I actually wrote ploosh.
She looks at it and she's like, "Look what I done." You're such a child, hot babe.
All problems are solved with boulders.
Why is this horse riding and stone skimming in the middle of this training montage? I
think it's to show the progress of time of him doing training and spending time with hot babe.
Oh.
I think that's what it's supposed to. That's what it's supposed to show. Is this where he does the press-ups and kicks the logs over one at a time?
I just thought Wizard is hitting him with a big stick.
Oh yeah, he keeps hitting him,
well.
And he's just going, "Argh!"
There's a weird moment where he's balancing logs on his knee while the monk beats him severely with a stick over and over again. And then again forbids that he will tell him anything about his dad until he's done some training. So he goes and attacks a fire instead.
He cries over the top of it.
He does a lot of weird, like, sort of spin kicks.
If this was Kick Puncher, he would have been kicking that fire.
He'd have kicked that fire into that monk's face, yeah.
So this is a different character. There's that song again. I've written that song again, but I don't know which song it was.
I think it's a different one. I don't think it's the first one. I think it's a different song, but it's still the same sort of wishy-washy in the middle of the road.
Chips is about to appear, sort of thing, yeah.
Yeah.
And then the monk attacks him with sticks while he's blindfolded. even though that will in no way prepare him for the tournament to follow.
He'll be able to see in the tournament, won't he?
Yeah.
That's not a rule that you have to go in there blind.
Because
Well, yeah, all right. He does train him well then. Yeah,
I thought you had something on the thing.
Oh no.
I just left that on a cliffhanger for the audience because there are no rules.
Oh, I've got that. Don't worry. As is the ancient way, there are no rules.
Thugs then crawl up to
Mando crawling up Scree.
Love a bit of Scree. And then there's a is this the picnic scene? No. Wait, no, I've got it wrong. Mikey is then eating the cheese sandwiches.
Yes, the goons have gone back to Mikey.
The big goon says the thugs are here. I don't think he calls them thugs. But they're the goons from the supermarket.
Yes. Hey Arnold and his friend.
And the big goons.
What does Mikey tell them to do?
It's that Bennett fella again. Listen, I don't want him in this tournament, right? And you go and get a couple of men on motorbikes, bring Nicola to the quarry, and kill that mad monk.
Yeah!
The mad monk!
Get a couple of fellas on motorbikes.
They are not motorbikes.
They're scramblers. I'm guessing they've got
two-stroke.
Are they them like dirt bikes that you hear riding up and down the canal?
Yeah. They're scramblers. It'll be three local kids who'll have gone, do you want to be in a film?
He dispatches them at the exact moment that there is a picnic going on between Nicola and Jimmy.
Oh, if I went on a picnic with that, I'd be gutted.
Right.
What were they eating?
Strawberries.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, were they strawberries?
Oh, actually, no.
Strawberries.
No, because she goes, close your eyes, and then she gives him half a strawberry, and she eats the other half, and there's wet food noise, and I was like, ugh.
Oh, I didn't see that. All I could see was apples, oranges, and bananas.
There's a lot of
and a bottle of wine.
Oh
There's
yeah, well.
7 oranges, a French apple, a plum, 2 bananas, a tin of cream of chicken soup or something, and a bottle of white wine. Got some things right.
Was I looking at that picnic?
Yeah, that's not a proper picnic. Where's the cheese? Where's the bread?
And they've set this lovely blanket out right next to the road.
I was going to say, you're on a bypass there, aren't you? Hot Babe is wearing leather trousers that I'm guessing she brought herself. She's got leather trousers on, which is, I think, for safety reasons later on the motorbike. Spoilers.
Well, it was all filmed at the same time.
I think this was all filmed in sequence.
The same day.
To be honest, I think it was filmed just as it went on. Instead of going, well, we can do shots in the same location at passes of time. That's why, none of the locations are the same ever. It's like the house he goes to meet Lochan in first isn't the same where he goes and meets Mikey later.
Not available later.
No, I told you, because the woman's like, you had one day and you trekked mud onto my carpet. Yeah.
And where's my whale
Boyzone.
ornament?
She didn't bring it back.
The plumbing in there.
Mikey stole the whale ornament. Ronan
Brought
will
the
love
coke
this.
himself.
Anyway, back to the picnic. Jimmy tells her to close her eyes and then presents her with a red carnation.
See, if it was me, I'd have been like, here's a banana. Wink.
And then the motorbikes turn up.
He doesn't get a chance to give her the carnation because he stands up and his spider sense tingles.
When they hear,
because you can hear them freaking bikes from a mile away anyway.
They're awful.
And he's like,
they
go, let's run.
They fail at initiative because one of them gets off his bike to then sort of stare into the middle distance for a little bit. Jimmy sneaks up on him.
No, I do like the stunt in this. Where Jimmy's running through the forest, the guy in the motorbike comes through and Jimmy kicks him off the bike.
I wrote it down.
And it's clearly a dummy.
Dirt bike takedown.
It lands like, ah.
Yeah, decks him, takes his bike, but not the helmet. He throws that to one side.
No, he's like, helmet.
It won't fit on his massive head, will it?
It won't get on his turnip head.
Just be sat on top like a ground.
And the next lad comes up because his bike is parked right next to all of this because he was taking a slash somewhere or something. And he doesn't give a flip that his mate's down. He just gets on the bike.
You don't want to get on the bad side. A lot accidents happen now. Lochan said it.
And then Jimmy goes to pick up Nicola, who's still considering the carnation.
Stands there. Stands there.
Just where she's put with this carnation.
Wait, did Jimmy turn into a carnation? Is that a power he has?
An incarnation.
No, he appears. He's like, get on the bike. And she's like, I knew I wore my leather trousers for something today. Let's go, big boy. And then she just like dangles her knees at the side of it, like scraping on the ground.
As bikers materialise everywhere.
Loads of bikers and cars appear.
Rusty vehicles.
Yeah.
Jimmy shoots one biker who then flops into a hedge in slow-mo.
Oh, Jimmy got a gun off the first biker, didn't he? Because he mugged him. Yeah. I remember. Where did he get a gun from? Yeah. He mugs him, doesn't he? And takes his gun, beats him up, and then karate kicks the other guy.
Betraying his thing about, guns and being a prick. So
he just didn't want his gun. Because I think the bartender calls him like a racial slur, doesn't he?
Is he? I don't.
I think he doesn't call him like Assassin Akbar, but it's something. I think he calls him a name. I couldn't pick it up what it was. Yeah.
I'm sure if we watch this again, we'd pick up so much more.
Wait till the end. I have an idea.
Jimmy senses danger from the hordes of bikers.
He spider senses singling again, yes.
And pops her down in a very weird series of scenes there. I don't know if anybody caught this.
They were just, I think they filmed it twice and they cut them together in a way that didn't make any sense.
He pops her down and her feet are facing one way and then she's standing in completely a different direction.
Yep.
Which looks very jerky and like she's just snapped her ankles.
Also, instead of going like hiding in the hedges, she just stands there.
Yeah. It's just put there.
Jimmy whips the bike round, drives back towards him, full pelt, powing like that.
At an oncoming car.
Is he stood on the dirt bike at this point?
Not at this point.
No, sorry.
He does eventually.
He clips one guy in a car who goes, and falls into the car because obviously they can't afford people to be rolling around the streets of County. And then he stands on the bike to shoot better.
Well, he's a better shot than the people in the car.
This is a Van Damme scene, I think, from Bloodsport. I don't know.
I mean, possibly it is a homage to something. It feels very,
I feel like I've seen it before.
But it doesn't really work.
And this oncoming car is oncoming for some time. It's like that bit in the Holy Grail. With the knight just running. And then he manages, in the space of time it takes for this oncoming car to get to him, to shoot the driver, and it crashes into a convenient pile of scree.
That's the thing. Oh, that's what we can use. Right, I'll get the gong noise, and every time scree's mentioned, we'll hit a gong. How's about that?
Yeah, deal. The weird thing about all of this is that there are no gun sounds in all of this.
There are, but they're not very loud in the mix.
Yeah.
In the same way that I don't think they actually fired. I don't think they had permission to use actual blanks.
Well, I was thinking about this.
All of the gun effects are in post.
And I think that the bikers then, so some of them just drive off, having been fatally wounded by Jimmy. And there's a car coming towards them that sort of like signals that it wants to pull into the side. And I think that was just a car. And there's this biker with a gun.
There's mania going on.
Well, they get Nicola on a bike now, don't they? Because she's just stood there like
She's just stood there like, Jimmy will protect me against these 12 dudes in a car.
There's a really long shot of them driving away with Nicola. I swear it was like a minute long.
It was like, we have to fill time.
They take us straight back to see Mikey. He's in a vest in a camper van.
I love this bit.
He has a go at her.
Slaps her. And she falls down literally straight.
She falls prone.
She doesn't bend.
She's like one of them fainting goats.
And then she just lies there on the couch all stiff.
Yeah, and he says,
I could love anyone, do you know that? Do you know that? You made me look bad, and that's not good.
That's dialogue, mate. That's again. That's like life is like a box of chocolates. That's one for the ages.
Jimmy comes home, clutching his injured right nipple, reads a note that we don't see immediately, and runs off full pelt.
See, I missed the note and I thought he'd come home, gone, oh, all my picnic stuff, and then legged it back out. And then when I rewound it, I went, oh, there is a note.
I thought it was like he was missing Nicola. But it wasn't
He got home and realised, oh, my girlfriend's gone.
Because how would they get there to leave a note about Nicola before he got home?
Oh, maybe the bike people were like, oh, they've got him. And the bikers that went the other way were like, they've got Nicola. Right, plan B, go and leave the note. I think we're giving it too much credit.
Because then he runs back to the wood and the guys off the bikes are still there and he does some more kicky stuff.
Yeah, they're kidnapping the Mad Monk, which is his name now.
Eminem.
And I thought, if he's such a clever monk, why didn't he try and sneak away then? Just appear behind them at all times.
He's done many times before. Expect the unexpected.
He didn't expect that, did he? Getting bundled into a back. There's another quick flashback as well to Headless Dad.
I think it does it again now, actually. I think it genuinely does do that again.
That's what's so traumatizing about his dad's death. It was
it's the noise he made when he died. Supposed to be this big hard man, and he makes a noise like a penguin being thrown into a wood chipper.
I love it so much. Jimmy and the Mad Monk are having a little sit after he remembers this, and then he turns the note out. Does anybody know what it says?
Lose
or
says, else.
No. Oh, is that what it says? I thought it said lose the tournament.
No, it's too many words.
It says loose or else. Loose or else.
But Jimmy's like, no, I will win this tournament.
Monk says, just to win, and they'll get Nicola back. He says it monkily, but I was very hungover.
I also like the fact at this point, whenever they're doing dialogue, they've clearly done it as one shots. Like they've done a shot of them both, and then they've done bits. But every time they turn to the camera and go, yes, you must enter the tournament. Turn back. And then it shows him turning back to him the opposite way. And I'm like, why are you doing it? Just do it at the camera. Like, it's not hard.
Jimmy storms off because he's given a choice between his hot babe and winning the tournament. He storms off and slaps a hedge.
Is this where he has another big long walk?
He has another big long walk.
He's spinning around for a bit, and we keep looking at the leaves in the tree while he thinks of happy memories of his hot babe.
Do you remember we went and nearly killed you on that horse? Or when you murdered that salmon?
Yeah, so there's this song going on in the background.
This is the Live, Love, Laugh song.
This feeling inside, with a touch of her hand, she could move any mountain, she could see to the soul of stone cold land. She can heal the here that's been broken in two. I think that's heart. I think I just missed off the T. If she wants, she can break all the rules. And when she smiles, she lights up my life. Blah, 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 blah. All this is going on while he's reminiscing. And he's just reminiscing the good times they had together. Killing.
Guns, horses, trees, and sexy times, which we haven't seen before.
Yes, that was not in the actual narrative.
I genuinely thought they were going to make her take her top off in this. Just because, like, normally... No, you don't see anything.
Just, you see a bra strap.
You see her try and take a bra off, and then it cuts away.
I was busy scribbling notes. That's why.
And then he's doing walking, and said they love a good shoe close up.
Yeah, yeah. He remembers them sitting near some horses.
The director of this film is known for his shoe close-ups. Yeah.
So like the Timberlands, mate, it paid a fortune.
Slamming. He then remembers Mikey threatening people, and she wasn't there for that, so that makes no sense. And it just sort of goes off on one about all the times that Mikey shouted in his face, and then Loughlin offering him a job, and she wasn't there for that either.
No, again, I think he must have told her.
And he's now remembering having told her.
She's got like powers like the Crow when you can absorb people's memories. I don't know. Again, to fill time, we'll just show bits of footage from earlier on in the film. It's a common technique in Hallmark films. After
showcasing this feeling inside,
so strong.
He goes back to the monk who's by some fire, because monks love fire.
With a beard like that, you think he wouldn't.
Jimmy asks him what the plan is. And then he attacked him with a fiery stick.
Yeah, he's upgraded his sticks.
The plan is, I beat you with fire now.
I don't think he does actually say anything. I think he just launches into.
He just pulls these two wooden. I don't even think like the proper like. They're just sticks with rags on the end that they set on fire. And Jimmy's like, I'm okay with this.
I'm guessing that forest doesn't exist anymore.
You got to suffer for your art.
And then I thought, is he trying to spell out the plan in fire so that you can see it when you close your eyes? Yeah.
No, he's just poking him with fire sticks.
He just has to like
Blaming
block and dodge the branches of fire. Again, I think on paper they were like, "This will be cool as fuck," and then when they came to film, they were like, "This is dumb as shit."
But then they do film something that's cool as shit because they go to Trim Aerodrome or Trim Airfield, and there's a plane coming into land in the field called El Pod, which is Spanish for the pod. And Siegel gets out of it and he gets into a car with Lachlan. Anybody remember the scene?
Yeah. He's like, the business is taken care of in Hong Kong.
Got another job for you here.
And then he says, I've got another job for you here. And then he slaps the driver on the back of the head.
Get him going.
I was like,
even say drive.
He could have just said, like, all right, we can go now. He's like, wow.
Oh, it amused me.
That's for not sending a thank you note for that dried flower arrangement I gave to your mackerel.
Yeah, and then there's some more weird slow motion training montage of Jimmy.
So much training.
No catchphrase music in the background.
No, is this when he's doing like pull-ups in a tree forever?
Yes.
I said he's trying to chop a tree down with his foot. If this tournament is against lumberjacks, he won't win.
Oh yeah, they keep showing him kicking that tree stump, don't they? Yeah.
And then it's the barrels.
He doesn't even do that.
He doesn't even do that. He's shit. He's a shit lumberjack.
He gets all the bark off it. That's the hard part, isn't it? I don't know.
Not good at kicking. Not as good as
Punch kicker.
Jack?
No, his favourite thing to do is
press ups. Oh, he just. This is the scene.
This is the one, yeah.
This is where he does the splits in his very tight shorts.
Denim cut-offs.
Denim cut-offs with the pockets dangling out. He does the splits, and I'm fairly sure if the picture quality was better, you'd be able to see some plumbing there. Yeah.
Left it on the picnic.
So the monks at this point open the Beltane tournament.
Do you want to hear?
Abbey. Yes.
I've got the whole thing. So this monk who's got jam all over his face for some reason gives this speech about the opening of the tournament.
Each decade we celebrate May with the Feast of Beltane. This has been handed down through centuries. It is in this tradition that we are gathered here. In keeping with the ancient ways, there are no rules. Let the Beltane tournament begin.
Bong! Another gong. Damn, I cut that off too soon. Right. He pronounces Beltane like two different ways in that. Also, according to the ancient ways, there are no rules. That doesn't make any sense.
Not anything goes. I said no rules. And another important point, how do you know who wins if there's no rules?
Yeah, I won. You're bleeding out your ass, mate. Don't matter, does
I don't think you could have won when I won.
We didn't establish what the rules were because there aren't any. Maybe it's opposite day. Yeah, think about that.
Ancient ways are so confusing.
The ancient way. Thing is, this happens every year. So it's not that rare an occurrence. So I don't know how there's all this secrecy about it, especially if Hot Babe knew about it. Like, she works in a Londis.
But it's in a conservative club surrounded by hay bales.
Yeah.
It's very...
Everyone from the town's there as well.
Conservative club? What? I don't get that.
That's what it looks like. It looks like it looks like a con club with a load of hay bales that they've nicked from his barn.
A room you can hire for a 21st wedding above a pub is where it's filmed.
It then emerges that the drug lord gang haven't done a very good job at stopping people entering this competition because there are more competitors than there are audience members. There's 16 of them. And at times there are 4 audience members. The fighters outnumber them like 4-1, and I'm pretty sure it's just them sat down in the audience.
I mean, I've played gigs like that myself, mate. So you know.
There's an American in there, draped in a flag.
I forgot about him. Yeah, he comes out and they're like, I was like, oh, we'll go far.
I did try to keep a track of all the names and what they were doing and everything, but there's
tried.
so much of it.
It went on forever.
They also do like the dodgy thing with the skipping of the thing to make it look like somebody's kicked somebody in the face 3 times very, very quickly.
I liked that because they only do it in this. They do it twice. And no one's like, okay, what's happening here? Yeah, he goes, yeah, and hits him. But it's just the same bit of footage reversed.
Mortal Kombat.
It did sound like Mortal Kombat.
The music while the fighting is going on is tremendous, I will say. I think this is my favourite piece of music in any film.
What's with the porno music?
That is sneaking about music. Doom, 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 bop. It's not karate fighting, but it goes on for ages.
Well, I don't know if you noticed, but the first man who wins wearing the vest, he starts off fighting with 2 straps on his vest, and then by the end of the fight, is like it's over. So he's got like a one shoulder thing, yeah.
Nice.
And then it comes back to 2, and then it goes back to 1.
I'm surprised they didn't have like some of them with moustaches on and stuff, just because they didn't have enough fighters. I'm assuming this was like a local karate school, and they're just like, "Come on, lads, come and have a do. You'll be famous."
But the only names I could get was Bennett and O'Shea, which are very Irish.
Yeah.
There's Seagull's in there as well.
Seagull comes in.
Not a very Irish name, but
I think he legitimately murders someone.
Not at this point. He does beat somebody up. There is a woman in there as well. There's one female fighter as well. She does very well.
Who gets through the first round?
I thought these were all just his mates, and it was just a way of let's film the tournament. Everybody assemble.
Come from far and wide to participate in the County Meath Beltane Karate Tournament in the upstairs of the Gilded Horse. Yeah, it's a mess.
Nicola is then. Because she's captured, she's with 2 goons in a caravan.
They're playing cards.
One of them puts his cards down into a shell that they're using as an ashtray.
I love that.
Close up the shell ashtray.
I don't know. It's just like reminds me of like
everybody had a shell ashtray.
Yeah, in like the 80s, there was like.
Oh right.
Yeah.
I don't know about this.
I don't know why.
It was odd. Is that it then? Was it filmed to make it look classy?
Well, we got the shell. We got the whale statue.
It is. It's basically all the stuff my nana had in her house that she thought was amazing.
If there was little crystal figurines and stuff, it would have been like, or like a Chesterfield with some like nasty plates in there. Yeah, it'd have been.
Did she also have one wall that was just a shower curtain because they did?
He lose the like. One of them's just drinking constantly as well, and that's no way to guard, is it? Getting leathered.
Oh yeah, he's drinking whiskey or something.
He's drinking whiskey, neat, and he's just like, and he slaps her as well. She's like, "You won't be gambling when Billy comes," or something. I was like, that doesn't make sense as a threat. It's confusing.
I think she meant Jimmy, but
Jimmy, sorry, not Billy.
She's been slapped about a bit, so we'll forgive her.
But he slaps her, and she's fine with it. She doesn't go all rigid then, so maybe that's why she doesn't like Mikey, because like whenever he touches her, she just freezes up. Again, this scene leads to nothing.
No.
Yeah, I was a little bit disappointed with that.
I think it's just
very abrupt. Very abrupt.
Very weird.
I think it's just to show that she's being roughed up. She's not in good hands at all. And then it cuts to Jimmy and the monk. The monk says that his dad was his first student, and he was a monk. Jimmy is very surprised at this, but asks no follow-up questions.
No, he's like, "Oh, really? He was a monk? How am I here then? Who's my monk?"
Another monk.
We've only ever seen dude monks. Could be the same monk. It could have been him and his mate decided to form a monastery. Mad Monk and Jimmy's dad decided to start a monastery. Jimmy got his head cut off for some reason. Because that's never explained, is it?
Nope.
No.
Spoiler. No, it isn't.
No. And that guy's just like, I'll be 3 people now, so it looks like we've got more people in our community, and it's just him.
Jimmy then says a very cryptic line, and I wondered if you could both help shed some light on this. Jimmy says that he doesn't reckon that he can win with those 2 watching him. And I thought, what? Is he shy?
I remember that, and I was going, which 2?
There's 2 goons that he chases at one point in the Abbey grounds.
That's at the end, though.
But they're just on phones.
Oh, okay. So
What's he talking about?
I'm assuming he knows those two. Are they not Hey Arnold and his friend from the start?
Could be.
So he knows that they work for Lachlan. So he knows that he's being watched throughout this tournament. So that could be why.
He's been watched by everybody in the tournament.
Well, it's been watched by up to 4 people. 2 of them, he knows who they are.
Then Siegel straight up kills the dude.
Straight up just murders him, yeah.
Just like Tim Wu.
But the light goes off randomly.
Yeah, it does. That was
So he kills him and then the light goes off and he goes, shit, put 50p at me.
Kenny!
I'm pretty sure that while there may not be rules in this tournament, there are rules about killing people on consecrated ground.
They're not in a church.
I thought they were in an abbey.
No, why would you think that?
Because he chases 2 people out into the
does.
abbey grounds.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there are rules about. Well, it's only in Highlander.
Where are the Garda and all of this?
And that's just you can't.
Where's the police? There's like people getting murdered.
They turn a blind eye around Beltane time.
Yeah, because the rules are there ain't no rules.
Rules are. It's like the Purge, mate. There's no.
It's not anything else. There's a bit of biting goes on.
Yeah, weird.
And then it's flashback time again, and Jimmy remembers that it was Lachlan what done it with the stabby in the dark all those years ago. And this time,
yeah, we see this incredibly old man who hasn't aged a day since then. Maybe he's a vampire, and he needed okay, that makes sense. That's the story I'm going with.
It's only 10 years. He might be like Bruce Forsyth and just always look that old.
Just going to plateau for a while.
All right, fair enough.
Right,
so Jimmy was... okay, that makes sense, yeah.
I also made a note that the old granny in the crowd is fucking loving this.
She's like, kill him! Old people love violence. I don't know why.
She did. She loved it. Then there's the point where Jimmy fights enough and starts chasing goons in the Abbey grounds.
No. Bennett is all, I can't fight anymore. And then the monk says,
Fatal deviation, fatal deviation, fatal deviation, fatal deviation, fatal deviation.
That's his magic
power.
power.
The camera pans in on him doing this, and then Jimmy gets like a second wind.
And then he does the roundhouse kick 3 times, and he plays it over and over again.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay.
And then he's gone, and then he chases the goon.
Major plot
because
point.
it's so bizarre. Because
that's the only mention of Fatal Deviation we've got.
I mean, bonus point for saying the title of the film in the film, which I always like. But what's Fatal Deviation? What is it?
What isn't it?
He hasn't mentioned it in training when he was poking him with the stick.
It's the hot new groove.
Maybe that's what he calls his bagpipes.
I've never heard him being called that before. I think it's clearly being overshadowed by the next scene because that just...
Yes, so he chases after the goons, jumps from the castle and makes this noise.
It goes very Scooby-Doo, actually, because he's running across the top bit and they're running through a bottom bit there.
Well, it's in the bloopers where they miss it.
Yes, I think he falls over, doesn't he, I think. And one of them pulls out a big old phone to phone someone. And it goes beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, boop, boop. And Jimmy sees them and he's up on high and he jumps off and makes this noise. I don't know about you, but that is enough to instill fear in an enemy. Sounds like he's having a long poo. Or he's being a very lazy motorbike.
Anyway, the next scene is a nude man in a cowboy hat emerging from a trailer.
So Jimmy lands, beats up the 2 guys, answers the phone and goes, "Yes, boss," because he's learned that that's the only thing that these people can say. "Everything's fine, boss," and then he hangs up. Then we cut to
the tournament's over. It makes no sense.
pasty white Irishman in his Speedos.
with catchphrase music.
I didn't
Because the
get
catchphrase for that day was "dirty old bastard."
Yeah, it's the naked Irish cowboy bathtub hour.
There's a bath in the middle of some scree that's on fire, and he climbs into it.
If it was a tin bath, that would be fine. That'd heat the water up. But it's not. It's like a household bath. It's like fiberglass. That's not going to heat up. That's just going to poison you, possibly. But he
He
puts his
takes
hand
his
in.
feet off before he gets in.
I think this is a local character. And they've gone, you can be in the film, Seamus, but you got to show your ass. And he was like, I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
Because
that
in the
water was-
outtakes, he falls over and he turns around and he's not like wearing a modesty thong or anything. So
It's
you
just what
can,
he's like.
if you watch the bloopers, you can see a tiny Irish man's tackle.
No thanks.
The only other thing I've got for that scene is that the water he was climbing into was brown.
Filthy, yeah.
That was horrible.
Again,
Whiskey. It's a bathtub of whiskey.
Again, it's this thing of if they're a cool drug gang, why are they hanging about in a scrapyard?
Well, more to the point, who the fuck is he? Because that's never
It's never explained who he is. He comes out with his little hat on, takes his clothes off, gets in this filthy, filthy third water bath, sits there for a bit, and then all hell breaks loose.
Is it not Lachlan?
No!
Oh.
Lachlan wouldn't have a bath in an outside bath.
How do you know? I thought he was like showing how untouchable
He has
was.
many expensive
He can have a
cars.
bath out.
He says
Go
so. I have many expensive cars. He
many
says.
Just because he
very
was his
dry flowers.
caravan.
Everybody in this gang has got their thing. Seagull's got killing. Lachlan's got dry flower arranging. This
He's
man's
got whales and
dipping his
drugs.
nuts into brown water over a fire.
Oh.
The sniper's on this hilltop around the scree where the bath is, and Jimmy pulls up in a car that he's acquired along the way.
Oh, but never explained. Don't worry about it.
Does somebody want to explain what happens to the car at this point?
This is the dangerous bit that
This
you
is
like,
the special
could have
effects,
died.
mate. Yeah. He's driving along, and the snipers are taking pot shots at him, aren't they? Because they're not very good snipers.
The shit.
Again, everyone with the gunplay in this film is terrible. And do they hit a tire or something? Do they hit Jimmy?
Well,
I know the car
no.
flips.
The car flips because it flips.
Oh, okay. Like there's no reason for it. Well, there is a reason
the
for
car,
it because
the car flips because
they had
it
no
is
safety.
actually flipped.
Yeah, they had no safety crew or anything. It was just like, Jimmy, can you drive a car? Yeah, I'm fine with it. And then clearly
Yeah.
he can't.
And I don't think they tie that into the plot. It just flips. So it's almost like he was clumsy in real life, I suppose. So that he's clumsy in the film, flips.
The car flips, catches
car.
fire.
Car goes boom.
Car go boom. Car go boom, but car not go boom. Car go boom with special effects. Because if you look, as Jimmy's running away from it, it's on fire a bit, but the big explosion, it's a very Neil Breen explosion, and then it fades back and the car's just on fire. It's not an actual real
It's
explosion.
enough to make a nudie man run away.
Yeah, he gets out of the bath, runs away like a
Bear
I found my gold style.
Yeah. And,
We never
and-
see him again.
Oh no, I do beg your pardon because Jimmy is hurt in that accident. He's clutching his left nipple because that hurts now.
His nips are his most sensitive points. That's his weakness.
His nips are compromised. At this point, I had to buy a new notebook because I'd exhausted that one.
Christ. There's just a load of shooting.
And the background music was the one it really got to me. It was so annoying. It was like 3 samples on a keyboard on repeat. It was awful.
I didn't get that.
It wasn't jaunty or anything.
I didn't get the music. Was it not the music again?
But then it had like a ooh under it, and then
That's
another
noise.
noise.
It's what you call
and
a
it was
remix.
just- no, I couldn't cope. But it was on repeat like every 2 seconds.
I mean, yeah, the music was Jimmy like literally goes around murdering a load of people, just straight out murdering them now. He ain't taking hostages.
Once sliding. He does a bit of a slide down a
He
hill.
pushes someone down some scree. And then he gets 2 guns and does like a John Woo style cross arm gun thing, but looks shit doing it because he's going left, right while he's doing it. Like when you're waiting across a busy street, it takes all the mystique out of it. Also, why not do that? That's better.
Yeah, I was
Why
thinking.
not like a Christ pose rather than hug yourself?
I was thinking it was a bit like that shootout in the office with the guns everywhere. He didn't really know what he was doing with that. He then faces off against a non-union Daniel Day-Lewis and fires at him as he hides behind a barrel.
That's very reminiscent of that scene from Naked Gun where they're shooting at each other from like a meter away.
Yeah.
Because I'm fairly sure they use the same patang footage because the same bit of dirt blows off the top of the barrel twice. It's true facts. I think the gun thing, the double gun thing, is like a homage to sort of Ultraviolet and stuff like that, where there's the gun cutter that looks badass.
I'm sure he's doing a bit, yeah, he's aging.
But in this, he looks like a drunk Irishman in a scrapyard, mucking about with his mates.
Mikey turns up. A goon emerges from a caravan with Nicola, and Jimmy puts his gun down.
Jimmy is bleeding like shit out of his face at this point.
I was a little bit concerned that was real.
I think it was after he flipped the car. Yeah.
Having watched the bloopers, health and safety on this was a nightmare. I think in the bloopers, does he not say, you're not even bleeding? And it's like, I could be concussed though, Jim. Did you think about that? Not all injuries are external.
You should have known that with dad trauma.
That thick Irish skull of yours, yeah. Yeah, he puts his gun down, which I had never understood why people do that.
And Nicola then takes control of the situation. Stamps on the goon's feet.
Yep.
And then Jimmy uses that altercation to then kill him. I can't even remember how he does it. There's just so much death at this point.
He just
scraps
the gun off the ground, doesn't he, and shoots him.
Right, okay.
I think. Again, at this point, the carnival of death.
He's just accepted guns as a part of society.
He can only remember the time after guns, yeah.
And then Mikey from Boyzone turns up, points his gun at him. There's a bit of back and forth, and he gets his neck broke.
Yeah, in a very unsatisfying way. I was expecting at least him to do some karate with him to like prove he was like a legitimate badass.
You've hired him. You've hired Mikey Graham from Boyzone for a day or something.
Irish rock band Boyzone.
We know he's a badass because we saw him doing the coke before.
Yeah, I know, but like,
I would at least, got my money's worth kicking him up the arse or something.
It's very sort of unsatisfying. It's like the end bit of John Wick where they kill Thingy.
It's so weird. So weird. They then hold an immediate victory picnic.
No, he's healed up.
It's so immediate.
I'm assuming the picnic gear is still there. Like, they're driving home and they're like, let's have a picnic while we're here.
Well, there isn't anything on the picnic, so
they're just lying down and
been eaten by birds.
It shows a series of ants carrying bananas away.
He's lost interest in avenging his dead dad.
He's forgotten about that. He's at peace now. He's just like, okay, the drug gang have murdered most of them. That old man ain't going to do anything, is he? They're lying on the blanket. I think he says, close your eyes again.
He does.
And then this happens.
You killed my son. Now I am going to kill you, just as I killed your father.
Jimmy snatches the gun off him.
You killed my father. Now I'm going to kill you, just like I killed your son.
Now that is poetry, isn't it?
And a gunshot at the end, finally.
That's
and
like a real.
They have a big hug.
Yeah.
That's what you do when there's a murdered man at the side of your picnic blanket.
They have a big hug after they've murdered Mikey from Boyzone as well, actually. So I think she just gets turned on by death.
There's a fade to black.
It's black. The end. I was really hoping the end. Question mark. But no. This is a self-contained story. We'll never see any more of Jimmy and Hot Babe because they're in prison for many murders.
Oh, but they went out of the way to put blooper reel at the end.
Again, I think to fill time. It's an old trick to get you over the 90-minute. Well, in this case, the hour and 12 minute.
I didn't write any notes for the blooper reel because I thought just an impression would do.
It's it's just a series of people messing up lines. the old man with the flower arranging scene is clearly leathered and can't remember simple instructions. We get to see who I think is the director or the director of photography or something, who gets so angry that he leaves. And it turns out it is just filmed in someone's house, it looks like.
Mikey says something to the camera and then walks away and does a dance.
Oh, he does a little swagger. It's after the you made me look bad and good, that bit.
That guy who falls down the screen, he does it and it looks very painful.
Yeah, because I'm like, you've already got a dummy because you've kicked it off that motorbike. What's that down there? Like, you know.
I was like, I actually made a note of that because it did look really painful.
Took out skin off his back without, if now else, yeah.
Nicola again falls off the horse, nearly breaks a fucking neck.
Nicola nearly does die of horse-related tragedy, yes.
And there's that bit with the fella falling over the wall as well, who gets seriously hurt.
I thought that when I saw it, right? When I actually saw it in the film, because he grabs his legs and throws him backwards, and he over-rotates and he lands. Like there's a crash mat there. There's what appears to be an abandoned mattress there that he lands on. But he's landed right on the high back of his neck there, which is incredibly dangerous. And he said, he literally says, "I'm not fucking doing that again." Yeah, and I'm like, "I'm with you, mate. I wouldn't either." Because Jimmy's a fucking liability, to be honest.
He did crash the car, smashed his face. Who gets called a square ass?
Oh,
Jimmy.
I think Jimmy's got some padding on or something. Again, probably bits of the cut-up abandoned mattress they've shoved up his jumper for some reason. Probably when he goes and jumps off the wall.
I've changed my mind. That is my new text ringtone.
And then there's like some other bits, and then but all while this is going, it's the same stuff. Sort of jaunty music over it, and I'm like.
But that's an appropriate time because it's bloopers. You can have jaunty music.
Yeah, but literally, there's a guy bleeding out of his face.
It feels at that point that it's like evidence that's being seconded by the police.
It's like that episode of Inside Number 9, yes. And then it finishes, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is a very, very long, in-depth retelling of possibly the best film ever made. Fatal Deviation, 1998. Starring Jimmy, hot babe, an old man, a monk, and a load of goons. I mean, what scores do you want to give it? If you say less than 10, you're excommunicated.
Well, this is in Fabio's, don't forget.
Oh, sorry, it's in Golden Fabio, so it's out of 5, yes.
So it's obviously the full 5 Fabios from me.
It has to be. It has to be 5 Golden Fabios.
Yeah. Golden sparkly Fabios.
I so want to watch this again with people that I'm trying to work out how to do like a watch along if listeners want to actually like watch along with us, because I could watch this film a million times and never get. It's just there's so much awkward silence and shots that mean nothing. It's such a beautiful thing. I love it so very much.
And it's such a time capsule of the 90s as well. I love that.
Yeah, all the haircuts in it. Well, it's Ireland, so
jeans and belt.
But yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing, and I love it greatly. I think it's possibly my new favourite go-to film whenever I'm sad.
I've not laughed at a film like that ever. I put
it on at work, and I had to stop. Literally after the bit. No, I didn't even get that far. After the bit where he's like, "I must become like my father," throws that thing in the bag, and then just walks around for a minute and a half. I was like, "This is amazing." It's so very good. It's all for free on YouTube. Just look up Fatal Deviation. It's there for the viewing. I'm going to try and work out a way to do this because I think everyone needs to see this film. Everyone goes on about The Room and stuff as bad films. Again, this is because it's not intentionally bad. They tried to make a serious film.
Yeah.
Lacked
it's brilliant.
The budget, the talent, the skills to do so. But god damn it, they're plucky and they tried. And it comes through.
It's them and the mates just having fun with it.
Yeah, it's great.
And Mikey from Boyzone.
Who? I don't know. Did he owe someone a favour? It's never explained.
It's just so random.
I love that I've got my own entrance music. Yeah, I'll be very brief with this because
We've covered a lot of it.
Very few people in this did anything else.
Apart from jail time.
Released in 1998, there's quite a few really solid films from this year. This is one of them. Saving Private Ryan, Mulan, Dr. Dolittle. I don't know why I ranked that with the others.
It did a lot. Rebooted Eddie Murphy's career.
This film, Fatal Deviation, it had a budget of. Some people say it was a no-budget film. It's not. It had a budget of roughly 8,900 Irish pounds, which probably all went to Mikey from Boyzone and whoever they persuaded to let them near a plane. I did a bit of working out for that. So that if you turn that into euros, there's a converter somewhere. So I don't know if this is 1998 money or what. That would be 9,297 euros. Oh no, sorry, 10,000 euros, which turns into 9,297 pounds.
I'd have said about 10 grand. Yeah.
It's very much the similar money, but with that, I've calculated that you could buy one of John Lennon's teeth.
Nope. Don't like that.
So one of his teeth went up for auction. You could get Kevin from the office, the US office, to sing you a unique lullaby every night for 63 days.
Oh, we're doing cameos now, are we?
Yep.
Yeah, boy.
You could buy 1,033 desktop cans. £9 each. Just get 1,033 of them, line them up on a desk at work, and then, invade.
Right, chop them all!
Yeah, so the directors in this, it was Shay Castley.
Two, wasn't there?
Yeah, Shay Castley was one of them. He did Let the Blues in 2015, a biopic about an Irish music singer. Nothing.
I was hoping it was going to be like
this.
It was going to be a rip-off of Let the Right One In. It was just like an Irish vampire going, let me in!
I did think something like
that. Bugger
off! Simon Linshield was the other director. It had two of them. Neither of them did a spectacular job on this. But Simon Linshield went on to do The Ritual in 2000. I'll give you the synopsis. Yes.
The one about the four lads that go to Norway?
No. So the synopsis of this is Nessa, an archaeologist at odds with the establishment and haunted by violent dreams.
Sorry, what? Start that again, sorry.
So Nessa, you know Nessa?
Yeah, no, it wasn't that bit I was concerned about. It was the at odds with the establishment. They wrote that in.
She's an archaeologist at odds with the establishment.
Well, they're like, can you use a brush, please? She's like, fuck you, I'm using a spade.
Well, when you consider the establishment of Irish monks.
Can you use a garden hoe?
If it's the same guy, I will watch that.
This is the third time that I've tried to read the synopsis.
Sorry.
Calm down. Nessa, an archaeologist at odds with the establishment and haunted by violent dreams of Celtic sacrifices, tries to find an ancient relic, supposedly from the D. Danann period, pre-500 BC, in brackets, called Danu Amulet.
That's it. That's the amulet of the Earth Mother, yeah.
I was hoping it would be the golden bat.
The golden Fabio. Travels through time.
I just like that it narrowed it down to a really specific period.
Well, that's the around then is the time of the Fae and stuff in Celtic mythology. That's when they sort of started to exist and stuff. The Danu is the Earth Mother, basically.
And it's where I retreat to when I'm at odds with the establishment.
I want to know how established you can be, but yeah. Wow.
It was written by Castley and James Bennett. James Bennett now for real works in movies with Stephen Seagal and John Van Damme.
Do you reckon he's always like, in my first film, I named a character after you, Stephen?
Very, very contrite about this film. He's in films such as Kill 'Em All. He was in The Lone Ranger, the new one, and the Kickboxer series of films. I'm not familiar with it, but there's Kickboxer : Retaliation, which sounds
That's
great.
way late on in the Kickboxer series, yeah.
Yeah, he's not in all of them.
I quite
He'll
want
just
to
be
watch
there with his legs up on wall doing splits.
him and Jean-Claude Van Damme, seeing who can dip the lowest.
For Fatal
Go
Deviation,
and get that filthy bat, Stephen!
For Fatal Deviation, he served as the writer. actor, casting, assistant director,
Caterer.
cinematographer,
Fuck
and
off!
co-producer. His nickname on IMDb is Cement Jaw.
It should be Potato Face.
Starring Mikey Graham, he of Situations Vacant in 2008.
That's the one, yeah.
And Hey Mr. DJ, 2003. And I've got the synopsis for this one as well. This is the story of Ryan, a 30-something office worker, persecuted by his supervisor, Angela, and underappreciated by his fiancée, Jo.
I mean, I would hate him.
His only love is the DJ box in a rundown retro 80s nightclub that is until at least he meets the wildly charismatic sociopath, Oscar James, who takes on Ryan on a roller coaster ride of mayhem and madness. But everything has a price, and Oscar doesn't let Ryan easily escape this carnage-strewn nightmare until the final showdown, where he reveals his real purpose.
I kind of want to watch that as well now.
I mean, that is a roller coaster.
Just because it says... Just because... Oh, fuck you. I like the fact it says rundown 80s disco, which is clearly the only place that would let them film. That's like... Yeah. It'll be a Chaps nightclub somewhere, yeah.
As I said, most people didn't go on to star in anything else. ATM Woman #1 went on to star in a Brendan Fraser series, Professionals. So that was
did
all right.
Did Hot Babe do anything?
Nope. By the way, that ATM woman, she also appears in The Ritual. So.
Okay, I think I might have to find The Ritual next then, I think. It's going to be hard because there is another better film called The Ritual.
Hooligan #2 is played by Paul Petrulia. He appears in loads of other films as well. Seagull as well is another actor who's appeared in loads of films. I'm not going to list them now.
I'm going to guess he's karate guy and he's
Goon. Goon in the
lad.
background. And the other little thing, just before I finish, is that Keeley's bar is in the centre of Trim. It still has exactly the same facing. The facade is exactly the same, and it's still run by John the barman who starred in the film. It was him. He was the barman with the shotgun.
Really?
That was him.
Oh, mate, I'm proposing road trip. I go in and be like...
do like a tour of the sites? Come see where the film is.
Come and see the bar, the Abbey.
The Londis.
Fucking Londis.
The
Jimmy's
pile of
mum's
ashes
front
where
room.
a forest used to be.
That bridge that bloke got thrown over.
Some scree.
I would pay to do a tour.
I hope he gets a lot of people in there just wanting him to point a gun at him. So fuck your gun.
I mean, there's nothing about it on the Facebook page, but I hope so. I hope they have fond memories of being in that film.
It looks like a nice bar. I will say, it looks like a fun. Looks like where my dad used to drink in the 80s. Yeah.
And if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. Despite what John Taffer says.
I mean, what I'm going to say is there are a lot of guns in that bar.
Only he has a gun. Everyone else is karate based.
Pool balling, poof, on their heads.
That's it. Finn! I don't know how to end these.
Are you doing a thing now? Yeah, okay. I imagine you struggled with these.
I did, because they were all sarcastically
Yeah.
amazing film.
Which is not sarcastic, is accurate.
So Cam Carnhill on May 2020 gave it, 2012, apologies, 10 out of 10 and said it was enlightening. Before I seen... Oh, I'm at it again. I can't read a bloody review without laughing. Before I seen this film, my life wasn't worth living. I had lost my job. My girlfriend left me for my granddad. See, this is how I struggled. People aren't taking this seriously. Okay, so he's lost his job. His girlfriend's left for his granddad, and it's a shame to admit I was thinking about committing suicide. A friend recommended I watch this, and I was skeptical at first, but it was the best thing I've ever done. This film taught me some life lessons that I have encompassed into my lifestyle. I now run my own company with a multi-million-pound turnover. My girlfriend is a 19-year-old model, and I owe it all to this film. Thank you, Fatal Deviation. Thank you so much. And thank you, James Bennett. You are a modern-day sage in the mould of Socrates with your wisdom.
Again, slightly sarcastic, but he's not wrong. I feel anyone who watches this will benefit greatly from it. It will change their life.
It will.
Probably not for the better.
And on the opposite end, it was so hard to find negative ones. So we've got Sailing Ship from 2008, 1 out of 10. This is a home movie. Not going to lie. No, this is a home movie masquerading as an action movie. I couldn't watch it, but some of you may like it. The quality isn't low budget, it's no budget.
Wrong.
I scanned through it and there are scenes where the sound is almost totally gone.
How dare you?
And many
That's
scenes
fair.
with really, really boring stuff going on in what appears to be vacant, cheap apartments. Or Grand's
And a
front
caravan.
room.
There's a caravan. There's a scree area. The scree yard. Yeah, there's loads of places. Ooh. Lonely
might-
ships can fuck off.
It might have a good story, but I guess I'm too spoiled by professionally made movies. How much more can I say about a movie I couldn't watch? If you're a friend of these people, you'll probably be slamming the not helpful button now. I understand that everyone wants to be a movie star, but how the people making this could have deluded themselves that anybody besides friends and neighbours might want to watch this is beyond me.
Sorry.
It's all the wrong notes there.
Repost. You didn't even watch the film, dickhead.
Yeah, Sailing Ship.
Yeah, get out of here. Sail away.
Joseph Higgins, 2021, dictated but not read.
No, no. Ooh, I hate that. If you've not even watched it, if you've watched it, you will have fallen to its charms. I beg a man to say that they can watch this and not love it.
But it's only really him, her.
No, I think
it struggled.
It's that thing of they've tried to make a film with no skills to do so, but they've tried the best, and I love it. Also, that home video thing. There used to be, I don't know if you remember this, man, when we were kids, there used to be a channel on cable, as it was then, called HVC, that would show shit like this that people sent in. Constantly, like just weird films that people were sending on VHS that they'd filmed in their gardens, and it was so
See, that's my
good.
new favourite genre.
Oh, that'd be amazing. But this wasn't shit. It was brilliant.
Yeah. 100%
What message
love
are they
this.
sending to people everywhere? You know, go out there, go and make a crap film.
Yeah, you got to make a crap film before you can make a good film.
Safely.
Do you think Spielberg came out doing Schindler's List? No. He did Fatal
Carnosaurus,
Deviation.
didn't he?
Well, because I struggled with reviews, I stumbled upon the Fatal Deviation fan page on Facebook.
Yes, boy. You've been accepted.
And they ran a competition a while ago where you could win the tyres from the car that Jimmy had flipped.
Oh,
And you're telling me that you won the competition and it's here with us tonight.
please tell me that whoever won it sent pictures of them thumbs up in next to it or something.
Whatever the competition was, only one person
That's the
joined
only
in.
bit of memorabilia to
Oh,
survive.
how many people are in the group? We should all
I'm
join the group.
assuming it is like a Mickey take. They have 141 followers.
That's no right. We need to get that up then. All four of you that listen to this.
Fatal Deviation fans.
Yeah, let's go storm that page.
Let's
go
get
let
a
them know.
tyre.
Let's go and challenge them. Oh, no, we've missed Beltane. It's May, isn't it? Yeah. We can't challenge them to a fight at Beltane for the ownership of the tyres, is what I was thinking.
It's a good time to do it because there's no rules.
The ancient ways. No punching to the groin or face. I've got a photo shoot for Vision Express. This is a little extra bit where I've been quite listening to a lot of other sort of little indie podcasts and stuff like us, and just want to tell you about Jacob Marley is Dead. You'll find them at Marley is Dead Pod, and I think James you quite like this one because on paper it sounds insane. It's watching and discussing various adaptations and versions of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol.
All right.
Over and over again. But, like, John and Jimmy, the hosts, take you through them in, like, a really nice and fun way. And, like, they've obviously got a nice back and forth between each other. So
the Muppet one.
They've not done that yet. I think they're saying that's your big guns you
The
bring
obvious
out.
one.
But, yeah, each episode feels, like, pretty sort of fresh and new because there's loads of different... There's like, they do the Matthew McConaughey, like a Girlfriends of Christmas Past and stuff, which is essentially the same film but told in a different way. There's loads of versions of A Christmas Carol. And I think they've done the Nicolas Cage one, Barney. That might be of interest to you. I haven't listened to them all yet. I'm working my way through because I've got a lot of other stuff going on as well. But they've also done the Alistair Sim one, which is my favourite version of Scrooge, the black and white one. Just because of that bit where he looks out the window and all the ghosts are there. Genuinely still scares me how they did that.
Have they done the Muppets?
Not yet, no. Pay attention.
Sorry.
I really hope that the Nicolas Cage version, all the characters are played by Nicolas Cage.
Oh, yeah.
I'm the ghost. Christmas past. Yeah. So yeah, go give them a listen. It's really good. Yeah. In conclusion, that was the best film ever made, Fatal Deviation. Anything you wish to add?
I want to live, life, love and survive. I want to live my life, love and survive. Live, life,
love and survive.
Everybody
made me look bad, and that's not good.
I could have anyone, do you know that?
I could have anyone.
Do you know that? You made me look bad, and that's not good.
Goodbye.